Mother-in-law accidentally put my husband's ex's name on my B-Day cake, so I returned the favor on hers and the fallout was priceless. Let me tell you about my mother-in-law, the queen of disapproval from day one. She made it pretty darn clear that she wasn't a fan of me or our marriage. Every time she stepped into our house, it was like she had a radar for finding faults in every single thing. It's like she had a secret mission to nitpick her way through our lives. Take this one time, for instance. She told me she wanted a specific type of tea and couldn't stand anything else. I thought I'd be the perfect host and got her that exact tea. But, oh no, that wasn't going to cut it for Her Majesty. As soon as she took a whiff, she acted like I served her some kind of toxic sludge and tossed it away, claiming she'd never say she liked something like that. But believe me, that was just the tip of the iceberg. This woman had a talent for being snobby in the most creative ways. She dropped snarky comments about my cooking, my choice of clothes, and even the way I decorated our home. It was like she had a personal vendetta against me. You'd think my husband would put his foot down and stand up for me, right? Well, he did try. And failed. He'd always try to smooth things over, explaining to her that she needed to respect our choices and accept me as part of the family. But she just wouldn't budge. It was like she wanted to be the gatekeeper of the family and decided that I didn't cut it. I mean, who does that? We were supposed to be a family, but she acted like I was some kind of intruder. So I couldn't believe my ears when I found out that my mother-in-law, of all people, had planned a surprise birthday for me. It was such a weird twist in the tale, considering how she had never been a fan of me. I had mixed feelings, wondering if this was some kind of elaborate prank or if she was genuinely trying to make amends. Little did I know that this birthday surprise would turn out to be anything but pleasant. The day started with all the regular birthday cheer, balloons, decorations, and smiles all around. I tried my best to put aside my reservations and enjoy the moment. But then came the truth, the birthday cake. As they brought out the cake, I was excited to see what it looked like. But imagine my shock when I saw my husband's ex's name spelled out in big, bold letters instead of mine. I mean, seriously, how could this be happening? I glanced at my mother-in-law, trying to comprehend what was going on. She had this smirk on her face like she was hiding something. And then she casually mentioned that she misspelled my name because she was getting old and forgetful. Yeah, right. It was clear as day that she did it on purpose. I mean, who misspells their own daughter-in-law's name and writes the name of the ex on her birthday cake? It was like a cruel joke, and I couldn't believe she had stooped this low. Everyone else seemed to be in shock too, not knowing how to react. I tried my best to keep my composure, but deep down I was hurt and angry. It was hard not to take it personally, especially after all the snide remarks and disapproval I had endured from her. When my husband saw the birthday cake, he was just as shocked as I was. He genuinely wanted to surprise me with a special birthday celebration, but his mom swooped in, offering to plan the entire surprise herself. It seemed like a hopeful sign that she was finally willing to try and build a better relationship with me. She told my husband that she wanted him to have a good relationship with me, and she was willing to make an effort. It was like she was playing the role of a caring and understanding mother-in-law, luring him into believing that she had turned a new leaf. Little did he know that it was all a facade, a cunning plan to ruin my birthday and hurt me in the process. I didn't want to ruin the party, so I just smiled. I had other things in the plan. Now, let me give you some backstory. It seemed like my mother-in-law had a knack for stirring up trouble with her habit of comparing me with my husband's ex. It was ironic because my husband had told me that she never approved of his ex either. Talk about déjà vu. But what was even more amusing was the fact that my mother-in-law herself had been the second wife of my father-in-law. It was like she conveniently forgot her history while busy meddling in ours. The irony was too real. The story of my father-in-law was a mystery in itself. My husband didn't know much about his other family, and I had never been given much detail either. All we knew was that my father-in-law had two families, and it seemed like his other family wanted nothing to do with this one. We heard whispers of a distant and complicated relationship with them, but the details were shrouded in secrecy. It was like there was a hidden divide that we were never meant to cross. And then I found out, after a year of marriage, the reason behind my father-in-law's divorce from his first wife was none other than my mother-in-law. It was like something out of a soap opera, with family secrets and drama at every turn. I couldn't help but wonder if my mother-in-law's constant comparisons were a way of asserting herself and trying to fill the shoes of my husband's first wife. It was like she was trying to erase the past and make herself the standard for what a wife should be. But no matter how much she tried, she couldn't erase the fact that my husband's first marriage had nothing to do with me. We were our own couple, with our own unique love story. Coming back to the present, like I said, I didn't react. I just smiled at her mistake. Now, my mother-in-law's birthday was legit the next day, so I decided to return the surprise. I decided to play a little prank, and wrote my father-in-law's first wife's name instead of my mother-in-law's on the birthday cake. Of course, I acted all innocent, blaming the bakery for the mix-up. Oh, the look on her face when she saw the cake. It was priceless. She was fuming with anger, and I couldn't help but suppress a smirk. It was like karma had come full circle. All those times she had belittled me and made me feel unworthy. And now she was the one feeling the burn. She started yelling and throwing a tantrum, but I remained calm and composed. My husband tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't listen to reason. In a way, it felt liberating to see her lose control for once. I innocently asked if she was okay, pretending to be clueless about the whole thing. Inside, I was laughing with glee. But then she stormed out, unable to handle the humiliation. My husband looked puzzled, asking if I had done it intentionally. I didn't want to admit the truth, so I played it off as an honest mistake. "Oh, I must have picked up the wrong cake," I said with a perfectly innocent smile. He bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was my little secret, my moment of giving her back what she deserved. I knew I probably shouldn't have stooped to her level, but I couldn't resist giving her a taste of her own medicine. And boy, did it feel good. Do you think I went too far, bringing up old wounds and all? Well, my little birthday cake prank seems to have stirred up quite the storm. My mother-in-law is complaining left and right, insisting that I did it intentionally. But you know what they say, what goes around comes around. I denied it, of course, and played it off like I was innocent as a lamb. I reminded her of the time when she messed up on my birthday with the tea incident, and I didn't react the way she did. I mean, come on, it was just a cake, right? No need to blow it out of proportion. But you know how it is with mother-in-laws, always looking for a reason to be dramatic. She loves the spotlight, and this was her moment to shine. The whole family knows how she can be, so it's no surprise that they're all on my side. They've seen her dramatic antics before, and they're not falling for it this time. It's honestly quite funny how the tables have turned. She's used to being the center of attention and getting her way. But this time, she's the one left red-faced and fuming. And I have to admit, I'm kind of enjoying the show. My husband seems a little torn, caught between defending his mom and believing me. But hey, I'm not going to spill the beans about my little prank. Let him think what he wants. It's all in good fun, right? Update 2. Ever since the little cake prank, my mother-in-law has been surprisingly silent and hasn't been bothering us much. It's like a breath of fresh air, and life has become so much more peaceful. Maybe, just maybe, my little prank had a more significant impact on her than I thought. Perhaps she realized that her dramatic antics weren't getting her anywhere and decided to dial it down a notch, or maybe she's just sulking in a corner, nursing her wounded pride. Either way, I'm not complaining. I can finally breathe without the constant scrutiny and criticism. It's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I feel freer than ever before. Of course, I'm not naive enough to think that this newfound peace will last forever. Knowing my mother-in-law, she might bounce back with her drama in no time. But for now, I'm going to just enjoy it. Update 3, you know what they say, if you can't beat them, block them. And that's exactly what I did. Life has become so much better ever since I decided to block my mother-in-law. No more nagging and drama, just sweet, blissful silence. And thanks to all of you for supporting me in the comments. It feels good to know that I'm not alone in dealing with a dramatic mother-in-law. Your words of encouragement have been a source of strength for me. When she confronted me about blocking her, I just played it cool and blamed it on network issues. Hey, a little white lie never hurt anyone, right? Besides, it's kind of fun to mess with her a little bit. I have to admit, I'm enjoying this newfound power and control. Blocking her has given me a sense of freedom and peace that I never knew was possible. It's like I have the remote control to her drama, and I get to decide when to turn it on or off. To all those dealing with their dramatic mother-in-laws, stay strong and don't let anyone bring you down. Until next time, take care and live your best life. Bye for now. Opinion 1, NTA for sure. Dealing with a difficult mother-in-law can be such a nightmare, and you did what you had to do to protect your sanity. Blocking her was a smart move. And hey, network issues happen all the time, right? You deserve to have a peaceful and drama-free life. Don't let anyone guilt-trip you into dealing with unnecessary karma. Keep doing you and enjoy the well-deserved peace. Opinion 2, NTA my girl. Mother-in-laws can be a handful, and sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands. It's essential to prioritize your mental well-being, and if that means cutting out toxic people, then so be it. Stay strong, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for putting yourself first. Next story. I don't like sharing my meals with people. I've often been in situations where people want to try my food, and it puts me in an awkward spot. If it was just one bite, it would be more tolerable. but often people will get their saliva onto cutlery and then use that to take more food. I don't want other people's saliva and microbiota contaminating my food. Gross. I'm meticulous about planning my caloric and protein intake. I log everything I eat, and if someone has eaten a part of my portion, it makes tracking my calories and macros very difficult. I'm trying to bulk up, and it bothers me when I don't meet my protein goals. If people eat a third of my protein, I'm hungry and losing potential gains. Lately, whenever I go out for a meal or order in with people, I order 2 of everything I want. I will pay for the extra portion. I'm not passing my bill on to anyone else. I'm happy to pay for the extra food. When people ask to try my food, there's an extra portion. I've gotten a few odd glances, but it's never been an issue. I don't need anyone else's food, and I really want to enjoy all of my food. If someone wants to try what I'm eating, there's a separate plate with the same exact food. If the extra portion isn't fully consumed, I have tasty takeaway or leftovers. Seems like a win-win. Recently, my cousin's sister and I went out for a steak dinner at an expensive restaurant. I always pay. I thought it best to double-check that I'd get my full steak, so I asked if she was going to try any of mine. She said yes, so I called the server and asked for an extra portion. My sister was extremely put off that I ordered another steak just because she wanted to try mine. I explained I wanted my plate full. She could have as much of the extra order as she liked, and I'd pack the rest for later. She was not happy with that. It really threw off the vibe of our meal together. We made some small talk, but it seemed like 2 annoyed strangers tolerating each other rather than family catching up. Later, I learned that my sister was extremely upset, and she has brought this up with many family members. She has said I acted like a selfish a-hole, and a few family members have agreed that not sharing with family isn't a whole move. I'm struggling to understand this. I'm sharing because I'm paying for the extra portion. I'm just not sharing my plate, but they do get to try everything I'm eating. In the situation with my sister, there was a full extra steak that I paid for, and she could have as much as she wanted. How is that selfish? I love ruining all that, but that doesn't mean I want to saliva in my food. I thought ordering more was a fair compromise, but my sister still thinks I'm an a-hole for not sharing my plate. Am I missing something here? AITA? Response 1 NTA. But how many people are asking you to share? Is it the same small group? I asked because I have gone out for dinner thousands of times in my life and been asked to share an entree maybe 20 of those times, and by my significant other no less. No is a complete sentence. And if people are not respecting your no, then stop eating out with them. There is no need to keep buying additional entrees, nor is there any expectation in polite company that you should share your food. Response 2. A lot of people aren't going to understand what you're going through, OP. I get it. Although I don't have this problem with food, I feel very strongly about people drinking from my water bottle. I don't know why every single person in my life tries to drink from it, even people who I'm not close with by any means. It's especially bothersome with family because I tell them repeatedly not to touch my water bottle. They only touch it because they're getting a drink. I don't have a problem with actually touching it, but they ignore my boundary repeatedly. I have bought every single family member the exact same water bottle, and they specifically still reach for mine. You're doing everything you can to make sure people are not getting offended, and they're getting offended because you are not letting them cross your boundary. NTA. Response 3. Yeah, NTA. You're a little obsessively weird about not sharing your food, but you found a really good solution that solves your pet peeve without making things weirder for others. Really over-the-top solution. It should be enough to simply say, I really don't like to share my food. It's just a big pet peeve I have, and people should respect that. But good on you for what you do, so I really can't wrap my head around why your sister or anyone would be upset here. Next story. This happened almost a year ago, and I still hear about it every time we have steak, so I thought I'd ask. Almost exactly a year ago, I gave birth to our son. He's fantastic in every way possible, but at the time he didn't sleep the best, and having just given birth, I was super hormonal and very tired. My mother-in-law graciously offered to spend the first week with my husband and I to help us adjust to parenthood. She's a tad intrusive, but very helpful. Our anniversary happened 3 days after bringing our very loud bundle of joy home. It wasn't the most ideal anniversary, with a lack of sleep, having doubts about breastfeeding capabilities, a baby who only sleeps 2 hours, and my mother-in-law there. But it's the life we chose. I'm a very big fan of bison steak, and so is my husband. My dad wanted to help make our anniversary special, and secretly texted my husband to see if he'd be okay with making a special dinner for me as an anniversary present. He lives out of state, so drove up specifically to give us this gift and then left for work. I usually make steak because bison is tricky and has to be cooked at a lower temperature and is considered well done quicker than non-grass-fed beef. I also really enjoy making it. My husband knows cooking is a way I de-stress. When my dad came over with 3 T-bone bison steaks, I was really excited but super tired and told everyone we could eat after my nap. My husband and mother-in-law insisted they would make the steak for us. And wow, I started crying hysterically. I told them it wouldn't be right since they don't know how to prepare it, and it's expensive. I was afraid they would overcook it without help since neither of them really knew what to do. After some prodding, I went to bed but kept crying. I came out 30 minutes later and I was pretty nervous. I couldn't sleep just thinking about it. My husband put down the T-bone steak that had been cooked to 170 degrees, well over what a grass-fed bison should be cooked, and well done. And my mother-in-law put ketchup mixed with Worcestershire sauce in front of me and told me to eat up. I started crying hysterically and couldn't eat at all. It was like chewing. Leather and the ketchup mixture was just the final straw. They were only trying to be helpful and sweet, but I was so hormonal and sleep-deprived that I didn't handle it the best. I told my husband they ruined very expensive steaks, and here my mother-in-law said they were perfect and ate them instead. To this day, my husband brings up how I didn't eat the steak, and I tell him I was hormonal and upset by the inedible steak. AITA for crying over the steak? Response 1, NTA. 1. Postpartum hormones are no joke. 2. 170 degrees and ketchup? Who the hell does that to a steak? Response 2, NTA. And is this a pattern in your relationship? Is your husband continually relitigating old arguments? I'd just print out a bunch of info on post-birth hormones and dump it on his lap every time he tries to bring it up. Next story. I'm female, 29, and my boyfriend is male, 33. We moved to Amsterdam 1.5 years ago, and we live on the first floor of a 3-story building. If you have never been to Amsterdam, it's good to know that the buildings usually have a very small entryway and incredibly steep stairs. In our case, the size is 9 square feet. Our neighbors, male 35 and female 32 from the top floor, had one baby when we first moved in, and as of a few months ago had a second baby. Ever since we moved in, the ridiculously small entryway has had a folded stroller at the bottom of the stairs, covering half of the first step. The stroller makes it difficult to bring in groceries, to get in and out of the apartment with luggage when we're traveling, and also whenever we all receive packages. It's an all-around show. More often than not, a bunch of the steps of the staircase have boxes of our neighbors' deliveries on them because there's simply no room for them at the entryway. We often have to move the heavy stroller and leave it outside in front of the building while we're moving things. We were always empathetic with them and never complained, just decided to deal with it. However, after their second baby was born, it became a larger problem as they started leaving their stroller open at the entryway for hours on end instead of folding it and leaning it on the wall. They also added a large umbrella and the children's tricycle, and many times leave the baby's bassinet in our little hallway too, sometimes with the baby. We would also love to leave our umbrellas and our little grocery trolley out, but we don't, as we understand it can make it hard for everyone else. By the way, no other tenants leave anything out in the entryway or their own hallway, with the exception of them. Because of that, I politely asked them in a letter to remove the excessive things, tricycle, umbrella, and bassinet, and to please fold the stroller as soon as possible after moving the baby, as it's already a compromise on our part because we understand that the logistics of going up and down the stairs with it is a lot, but everything else was too much and simply getting in the way. It's been over a week since the letter was picked up and nothing has changed. Today we passed them on the street. They gave us an angry look and left us a note saying we simply are a-holes for not getting the parents' struggles and they should be entitled to leave their stuff there. Am I the a-hole here? Response 1, NTA. Also from the Netherlands, also live in an apartment building with other people. It's up to us to keep it clear. It is not uncommon for neighbors to approach each other about not letting strangers in, to not put strollers or bicycles in inconvenient places, etc. No one has more rights compared to the other, and having kids is a BS excuse. People have kids all the time and they don't make it everybody else's problem. Response 2, NTA. I think your request is reasonable. The entryway isn't a storage facility. You aren't asking them to move their things on principle. The items are making your life more difficult. The umbrella and bassinet are especially unfair as they aren't items that are used every time the parents go out with the children.